So Paul, we're sat here in the pavilion at this historic club with your name on the captain's board. What does it mean to you to be made vice president of this club?
It means a lot. Obviously, at the time you don't know how your career is going to evolve, and joining the club at quite a tender age, at sort of 15, 16, and walking down the stairs, you always, this is coming down, this is smacks you straight in the face. And, you always want to make this board so it's not going anywhere, I don't think, unless it fills up. It looks like it's getting pretty full now. But when you think about it, when there's test matches on and sort of big games here, you're always here, because as they walk down, hopefully home and away teams see the board as they walk down the stairs, and there you are. So that's an honour in itself, obviously, to be captain. And then you think that all your honours are pretty much done and dusted when you retire and when you finish playing. And to get the call and to be honoured the way the club have done it was fantastic. It was an absolute pleasure to accept.
You spent a massive part of your life here. What does the club and the venue mean to you?
Well, as you say, for a long time it's sort of been my second home. I've probably spent as much time here as at home at times. It has evolved. This is where we sat now is the only place left for when I first started. It's all changed, absolutely everything, and in some ways very much for the better, but I'm sad about certain parts of the ground going. It is iconic, isn't it? When someone mentions a bridge, you think it's to cross from one side of land to the other, but when you mention Trent Bridge, everyone, I think, thinks about the cricket ground, and to be such an integral part of that for over 30 years was pretty special.
You must have pretty much seen it all here. What are your best memories from your playing days?
I think, getting a letter through the post as a 15-year-old offering you a 2-year contract was pretty special. That was out the blue as well. I was playing football at the time a little bit for Lincoln City as well, so there was sort of decisions to be made, but once that letter came through, it was pretty much, I always wanted to play cricket. And then, all the way sort of down and through those playing days, it's boys' own stuff really. It's stuff that I always wanted to do, and the way that I managed to hold in there at times. Some people will say you had a great long career, but it was a long career. I'm not sure about great. Looking at my stats and stuff, there's a lot of runs there, and there's some big numbers there, but I played for 22 years, so if there weren't big numbers, they wouldn't have been there. So I did enough. At times I excelled, at other times I hung on by my fingernails, but it was a big part of my life, big part of my time was spent here, and I pretty much loved the vast majority of it.
You mentioned all of those runs. You're still Nott's biggest white ball run scorer. What do records like that mean to you? I was amazed that I think I was 9th in the all-time first-class runs, because that's printed in the handbooks and stuff. And then it was only last year that Dave Bracegirdle said something like, your combined runs in all competitions mean that you're about 4th of all time. And I thought, wow. And people would say, oh, you knew that. I really didn't know that. I know my numbers, but I didn't know the combined ones overall. And obviously I never played a 2020 game. The year 2020 was bought in, was the year I finished. Mick decided that my career was done, and I think at that time I probably could have played 2 years of 2020, and I think that the way that the game has evolved and you have specialists in, but back then that was not done. So in some ways I was pleased not to have a 2020 record, but there were so many changes in the one-day stuff. It started at 6, there was a 60 over comp, a 55, and then a 50, and then a 40, and it's gradually got shorter, and a 45. So it's changed such a lot. 3-day cricket went to 4-day cricket. So there's been a lot of change, and it's all moving and shaking. And I think with the amount of 1-day cricket that is played now, that stat will be smashed very soon, because of the amount of cricket. Whereas I think that you know, the 4-day first class stuff will stand test of time because it's being played less and less, whereas the 1-day stuff's being played more and more. So I would have thought in 10 years' time I'll be a lot lower down that list.
During your time, you've played with many of Nott's greats. Is there anyone that really sticks out in your memory?
Yeah, he's on there. He's 2 above me. Clive Rice was my captain when I first joined. He, you know, as I say, I was very young, but he was like a bit like a father figure, and Ken Taylor was like a grandfather figure in and around. They helped me through such a lot, and really was a mentor. He was someone who taught me pretty much about the game, because at 16 you know nothing. You think you do, but you don't. And Ricey made things sound very simple. He gave me massive belief in my own ability, and you know, he was the one that really sticks out, and I miss him.
Is there any particular piece of advice that he gave you that you stuck with?
Yeah, I think, you know, as a cricketer in general, but obviously I captained as well, and you know, the thing that I took from him was, don't expect anybody to do anything that you wouldn't do yourself. So, you know, live by it and stand up and face up to stuff. Don't just talk the talk, be able to walk the walk, and then people will follow you. But if you're asking people to do stuff that you won't do yourself, you're not half the man that you should be.
Thanks, Paul. Look forward to seeing you around the ground when the season starts.
It's been a pleasure. Thanks.
Thank you.